Hello and welcome to Story Dude, the hottest channel on YouTube, where a team of expert story pickers have scoured Reddit and found the best stories for you.
I, 35 female, just walked in on my engaged brother, 33 male, and our childhood friend. Update. He finally came out to talk to me. He apologized and showed me messages between him and Kay over the last few weeks, including a selfie of her holding a bunch of cash that she claims is from pawning the junk he gave her, aka the engagement ring. They went back and forth for a few days that she is not legally entitled to do that in our state, and ending with he would let her keep the money if she moved out of his house within 30 days. Basically things blew up and he didn't really want to tell anyone except A, which is why she's been around so much. They got drunk and hooked up. He apologized and said he would go stay with A until things with Kay get sorted out. He also says him and A are not really sure where they go from here, but it was just a drunk rebound at this point. Original. My brother G is engaged to Kay. They have been together about 2 years. Recently things have been rocky for them and he needed to clear his head, so he is staying with me for a bit. Our childhood friend A has been coming by to hang out with him in the evenings. They have always been really close, and that had upset Kay in the past, but I always told her that it wasn't like that, and there was nothing to worry about. In fact, I have basically had to tell all of his GFs that throughout our lives, because of how close they have been. And I 1000% believed it. We all regularly hang out together and it's not uncommon for her to stay over. I have 2 spare rooms, so tonight after some drinks she decided to stay over. I just remembered that a bag I needed was in the closet of the room she was staying in, so I got up and figured I would sneak in and grab it. I walk in, and they are very obviously going at it. I unintentionally said, "OSHT," and closed the door. I have been sitting on the couch in absolute freaking shock for about 45 minutes. I have not heard him leave the room, so apparently they are still in there. How TF do I address this? I am so confused by all this. I have never known them to cross any lines like that, and I would never in a million years would have thought my brother would be a cheater. Do I just let them spend the night together? Do I pretend I saw nothing? Do I tell Kay? Do I ask them to leave? Any help is much appreciated. Just looking at the comments from the original post. It just shows how your perception of events can be horribly skewed, by not having the complete story. I wonder how all the people who shat all over your brother feel after your update. Sounds like everything has worked out. You tell Kay I know I would want to know about this betrayal. Presumably you would, too. She already suspects something, and I bet things are rocky between them for a reason. You do need to tell Kay it would be awful for her not to know and end up engaged with a cheater. That's the most important step. How you deal emotionally with your brother and friend is your own thing, but you do need to tell the partner. Should I, 23, ask my Pakistani boyfriend, 30, to tell his family about me, or am I wasting my time? Me and my boyfriend have been together for almost a year. He is Pakistani and I am white. We met by chance and started going on dates, then fell in love with each other. He basically lives in my place, he doesn't leave my side, and we do basically everything together. I don't mind this, I like it, and I've never had someone so in love with me before. He cooks for me every day, takes care of me, and does all my food shopping. He pays any time we order food or go out on a date, and they have not been cheap dates. He's never shouted at me, called me names. He's always affectionate, not selfish at all in the bedroom, encourages me with my hobbies and goals, always answers the phone. All his friends and work colleagues know who I am and I've met most of them. We both post each other on social media. He's basically a really nice boyfriend. Unfortunately, there's just something I cannot wrap my head around. He's told me that he's never been in love before and no one would ever love me the way he loves me. So why, oh why, will he not tell his family about me? He's also never taken me to his house. He won't do it. He told me that he owns it, but his sister is living in there at the moment. I know the full address. For context, his parents and grandparents live in Pakistan, his siblings live here. My boyfriend does not follow Islam at all. He's eaten bacon at my parents' house, drinks alcohol, never prays, never goes to the mosque, and told me that he is simply Muslim by name. So this isn't a case of him waiting for me to revert to make life easier. I feel like he's living a double life and sitting on the fence with me, which I feel is unfair. Hiding me from certain areas in the city, never going to his house, and my family not knowing I at least exist makes me feel uneasy. I don't want to waste my 20s on a man that won't stand up for me and keeps me a secret. I sometimes feel like we are not in the real world and one day our bubble will burst. He tells me to accept it as we are happy, but that isn't sustainable in my opinion. If he's that serious, then surely someone will find out at some point, by choice or accident. What if someone spots us together? Some cousins already have and have been calling him asking questions. What if his parents start putting pressure on him to get married due to his age? God forbid. What if he's already married? Am I wasting my time with this man? Does he really not love me as much as he says he does? I don't want children, but I at least want a ring on my finger one day. Should I move on? Too long did not read. Pakistani boyfriend won't reveal me to his family and is causing me to doubt the relationship. He knows that he will no longer have his family's acceptance and support if he gets married to you. He will have to let go of either you or them. He will stall for as long as possible, because right now he gets to have both. Unfortunately, you will have to give him an ultimatum with a specific timeline and recognize that there is a very good chance that he will choose them. Take it from an Asian lady who has seen this many times. He won't introduce you to his family. When he started to live with you, he would have told his family. He will get married to whatever girl his family say to, and he will keep you on the side. That's not his sister, honey, that's his wife. Should I tell my best friend husband that she is cheating? I am 32 male. My best friend is 36 female. We've known each other for 12 years due to us both working for my father's company. We were a perfect duo and everyone always thought we were together or sleeping together. I was never interested in her because she had a boyfriend from the start and I knew him. In 2015 she got married to her boyfriend. In 2016 I got married to my GF. We both attend each other wedding. Fast forward to 2022, I got promoted to supervisor of my father's company and she also got promoted to manager of her department, but we had to travel to a remote location to work. This is where everything changed. We started spending a lot of time together and I noticed we were becoming emotional attached. I started noticing how attractive she was. I've known this woman for 12 years and only now I realized she is a 8/10 in attractive. But I fear losing my wife more than my immoral desires. So I decided to tell her that we are too emotional attached because we are away from our partners and we should be careful, and she agreed. At this time I thought that was it. Then came this guy that looks and acts similar to her husband. A little bit more info on how our work is scheduled. We are away for 10 days from our spouse and we are with them for 4 days when we get back. We all live on a campus and our rooms are close together. We get a 50% increase in pay. With that, my best friend earns 3x more than her husband and my wife is a stay-at-home wife. So this guy, let's call him KV, he started watching her a lot. She noticed him always watching her, so she told me and I told her not to bother with that too much because she is married. But without my knowledge she gave him her number. So one night we were smoking and he was texting saying he wanted to talk to her. So she told me she wanted to see what he had to say but she would call me after to meet up back. She never did. She eventually told me they had sex after the 3rd day of talking to KV. I was honestly disappointed, but this is where it gets crazy. KV is also married, and on that weekend we all went home to our spouse. But my best friend, though, somehow they were in a relationship, so she started calling him a lot while he was home with his wife and he decided to block her. KV thought she understands that their relationship is only on when they travel, because both are married. She called me drunk crying because he blocked her and asked her where she was, and amazing she was home with her husband. So I told my wife I got a meeting, which I did, but I left an hour earlier to pick my boyfriend up because I didn't want her husband to figure out what's going on. While with me she was throwing a tantrum and having a panic attack for being blocked. Being as attractive as she was never rejected or dumped before. I was afraid her husband would notice these behavior because she was really going crazy. She could not walk without crying. I decided to call KV and explain to him if he could give her closure. He agreed, and when we got back on our travels those two got back together. I started getting angry at myself because I thought this would end, but it continues, and guess what happened the next weekend when we had to go back? She throws a smaller tantrum. I wanted to tell her husband, but I don't want to ruin someone's life. They have 2 kids together. I'll try to wrap this up. I'm getting tired. So KV and my boyfriend eventually broke up because she wanted girlfriend treatment and she wanted to control him and wanted to be above his wife. But he was not having that. Eventually he got moved back to the city because his supervisor found out about the affair. After a few months she started talking about the affair openly with coworkers, and it eventually got back to her husband the week before he traveled. She begged him not to leave her. He says he will come back and she shouldn't worry. That 1 month he was away she was completely faithful, but have panic attack ever so often if she see a unknown woman in his photos. Her husband came back and they reconcile and she promised to be faithful. She took 3 months off from work now that she returns her rooms as no longer available because of overbooking mistake. Her AP company said she can stay in their house for a bit until it's solved. Now another coincidence happened. KV returns to this house the same time to work, so now they're living in the same house. Remember her being faithful from now on? Only lasted one night. Her husband doesn't know this, but KV been blowing her back out 2 weeks now, and this morning she is bragging to me that she didn't get enough last night. I ask her why not just get divorce and do what you want after. She told me her husband and her kids is everything to her and KV has his wife. I am tired, so tired of this. I just want to tell her husband I really do. I can't even talk to my wife about this because my wife would immediately want to ban me from her. I just hope her husband grows a pair of balls. My goal was to make her see her mistake and change without her husband noticing her cheating, but this is too much on me. Sweep your own front porch. You are lying to your wife about her. So instead of worrying about someone else's relationship, fix your own. Starting with no contact to this supposed to be best friend. Seriously, buddy, give your head a shake. Your wife will discover this and will kick your ass. Be smart and don't burn your marriage for a stupid friend. Yes, you absolutely should, and you should end this friendship. Is this the type of person you want to have around? I also think your wife would be uncomfortable with you lying. Tell her husband and stop being her friend. She's toxic AF. Her husband already knows she's a cheater. I don't think you have to report every move she makes. You might want to figure out why you're still friends with such an awful person. Am I, 35F, being financially abused by my husband, 40M? I've heard this is considered financial abuse, but I'm not sure, and he makes me feel like I'm being crazy, so I thought maybe I'd ask some objective strangers. I'm a stay-at-home mom of a toddler and an infant. While I was pregnant with the baby, my husband's job had him relocate from WA to CA. I'm in the US, sorry. I had a pretty good support system in WA, and I literally don't know a single person who lives within 6 hours of me now. If it's relevant, I do 100% of the cooking, cleaning, shopping for the house, DRS APPTS and laundry, but I honestly don't mind doing housework. I never complain or ask for help with it, and I don't feel that I need it. I would like some more help with childcare, but it's not in the budget. My husband does take the kids as much as I can expect him to given his job and other responsibilities. My problem is that he constantly tells me that I'm spending his money, and when I'm upset about something he tells me how good I have it, and all I do is complain when everything is paid for. He scrutinizes my spending, asks lots of questions, doesn't give me access to the account, and seems to consider trips to Walmart or the grocery store as personal spending. I've been told by friends that this is financial abuse, but my husband asks, why play the victim when we're supposed to be a team? So am I crazy? Amy lucky that everything vital is covered and I should just put up and shut up? Yes, it is financial abuse. Notice how he says it's his money and then also says you're meant to be a team. He's not a team player if he has the attitude that the money is his just because it comes from his employment. You are his wife and you are caring for the children you created together. If he was a team player, he would understand that within this team, you have assumed the role of caring for the children and maintaining the household, and his role is to provide financially and however else he does at home. By throwing, "We're meant to be a team," in your face, he is literally manipulating you to do what he wants. It seems that the concept of team is only applicable where it is convenient for him.